What's up, everybody? Here again today with another unboxing. I'm Jessie with Bassmaster. We're here in the Bassmaster tackle room, and what better place to be opening a new box of tackles? So we've got a box here. Gonna unbox it. Hopefully this is a easy box to get open. Half the ones we do tend to be pretty difficult, but this one nice and easy. All right, so we've got a bunch of stuff. I mean, I don't know how else to do this other than throw them out there and let's see what we got. So this is from Epic Baits. This is the scan head. So we've got a bunch of different sizes, bunch of different colors, head shapes, hook sizes, weights. You know, it comes in a bunch of different sizes. I see from here, I mean, 6 different sizes ranging from an 1/8 ounce all the way to a 1/2 ounce. So pretty much covers everything you could ever need. We'll take one out of the package and show you, but a lot of unique features about this head. The first time I got to see it was at ICAST this year and was very impressed with it. Scott Canterbury walked me through it, kind of told me a little bit about it. Pretty unique concept. So we'll take one out of here. All right, so we got one out of the package here, and I'll show you what that looks like. The thing you'll notice, unlike a lot of the jig heads on the market that are your typical round ball, football head, kind of more of a minnow shape, more narrow, this one has a flat surface on the front. What that's going to do is essentially maximize your return on forward-facing sonar. We all know how popular forward-facing sonar is now in the jig head minnow technique, or if you wanted to throw a little swim bait on the back of this, whatever it may be, that is such a popular technique these days. So essentially that flat head's going to return, give you a greater return on forward-facing sonar. You're going to be able to track the bait easier, further distance out from the cast. A lot of times you're wanting to stay further away from the fish, make long cast. When that's happening, essentially you're going to see that bait way out there, on your forward-facing sonar. So a few other features, obviously a 90-degree line tie. That's going to be a super popular thing for jig heads these days. That's going to make your minnow or your swim bait, stand up straight and obviously look more natural in the water column. Also, one of the things I noticed is it's got a sickle designed hook on there. Obviously, that's been a popular thing here of the last few years. I think when you look at that style hook, once you get them hooked, I think the idea is it's going to pin them better, keep them on there a lot better. Another thing I noticed is the wire keeper. So you've got a traditional wire keeper with braided line wrapped around it. Essentially, that's going to keep the soft plastic on there better. I was just talking to somebody the other day in the office here about how some of the jig heads on the market, when you're putting a really soft plastic, whether it be a Sakamoto or a Yamamoto, one of those, brands that has a really soft plastic, a lot of times you'll get them ripping pretty easily if the wire's too big. There's some swim bait heads on the market that wire's a little excessive for what the need is, especially with those thinner style minnow baits. And you make 100 casts, you catch one, that one fish might rip the bait, and that's no fun. Nobody likes that at all. So really neat bait. Like I said, got to see it at ICAST. Pretty big fan of the look of this. Like I said, the components, very nice. Nice sturdy hook. Obviously, you don't want a super thick diameter hook because you're typically doing this on, using this on a spinning rod, lighter line, lighter rod. So nice size hook on it. And like I said, the one thing I noticed when I looked at these online, once they released them, was the idea that they have so many different sizes and hooks. Like I said, sizes ranging from 1/8 to a 1/2 ounce, and then sizes of hooks ranging from 2/0 all the way to a 5/0. So if you're wanting to use a bigger style jig head like you see on the Tennessee River, places with bigger bait fish, obviously a 5/0 hook like this one here, a bigger style, is going to be more popular. So there you have it. That is the Epic Baits scan head. Again, very interesting bait, one that I'm very anxious to get out and use. The weather's cooling down. Perfect time to use that jig head minnow application. If you haven't seen these yet, haven't got your hands on them, go to epicbaitsfishing.com or your local tackle store and pick some up today.